American president assesses the state of this union, it is appropriate to gauge that assessment in light of his past addresses. And so in our fourth story tonight, a partial survey of statements in previous State of the Union speeches that turned out not to be, or we learned later never were, true. Some claims need no more than simple visual reminders to eliminate whether what we were told was or would be true.
Across oceans and continents, on mountaintops and in caves, you will not escape the justice of this nation. The United States of America will not permit the world's most dangerous regimes to threaten us with the world's most destructive weapons.
And this site itself a lie of a kind. Ahmed Chalabi sold to us as an Iraqi freedom fighter when in fact the administration had put a suspected Iranian agent sitting right behind the First Lady of the United States. But it is the sales job before the war that we remember most vividly.
The British government has learned that Saddam Hussein recently sought significant quantities of uranium from Africa. He attempted to purchase high-strength aluminum tubes suitable for nuclear weapons production. Several mobile biological weapons labs aids and protects terrorists, including members of Al-Qaeda.
At the time, only a handful of skeptics and the administration itself had guessed the truth. No uranium, no aluminum tubes, no mobile labs, no Al-Qaeda. Still, we were assured war with Iraq would not be fought on the cheap.
We will fight with the full force and might of the United States military.
In fact, the president sent in fewer than half of the troops recommended by the Army's Chief of Staff, General Eric Shinseki, and then he was ousted. Still, we were assured those troops would be taken care of.
I thank the Congress for providing our service men and women with the resources they have needed. Service men and women have survived terrible injuries, and this grateful nation will do everything we can to help them recover.
In fact, we went to war with the Army and the equipment we already had. And today, advocates for research on traumatic brain injury and other wounds suffered by troops with no body armor, unarmored vehicles, and no anti-RPG systems find themselves fighting funding cuts. At least, though, we were assured the troops would answer only to American commanders.
America will never seek a permission slip to defend the security of our country.
In fact, then as now, Mr. Bush let Iraqi leaders decide U.S. troops could not go after Muqtada al-Sadr, whose power has only grown in the interim. And even after the woeful inadequacy of his war plan became clear, the president assured us year after year that his course, the only course, was the right course and a winning course.
Iraqis are assuming more responsibility. Ordinary Iraqis are anxious to shoulder all the security burdens. America and its coalition partners will increasingly be in a supporting role. We remain on the offensive with a clear plan for victory. The insurgency will be marginalized. We are in this fight to win, and we are winning.
In that last speech, too, we find one claim which the events of just 2 weeks ago have now rendered painfully tragic.
We should be able to further decrease our troop levels. But those decisions will be made by our military commanders, not by politicians in Washington, D.C.
And how to justify his reversal of a vow made just last year? As before, so today. Fear. The only difference, what we were told to fear.
Already, the K report identified dozens of weapons of mass destruction-related program activities. Our men and women in uniform are fighting terrorists in Iraq, so we do not have to face them here at home. A sudden withdrawal of our forces from Iraq would abandon our Iraqi allies to death in prison, would put men like bin Laden and Zarqawi in charge of a strategic country.
But there were no WMDs. The enemy in Iraq is primarily not Al-Qaeda, and as the administration's own agencies report time and time again, Al-Qaeda does not need a victory in the Iraq war. The Iraq war itself is a victory for them, draining resources from the real fight in Afghanistan and elsewhere, eroding global unity, creating a new generation of terrorists around the world committed to the singular goal of decimating the State of the Union.